let's jump to receiving touchdowns. Gilles, who do you like in this one?
Yeah, we kind of touched on it a second ago, Chris, and I really like Ja'Marr Chase at 9-1. I'm very high on the Bengals and him this year. For example, I really like him to win Offensive Player of the Year this year at 30-1. But let's just talk about receiving touchdowns. So touchdown wise, finished with 13 touchdowns last year, which was 3 less than Cooper Kupp on 70 less targets. I think that's important to know. He was 19th overall in targets as a rookie. Again, I just think that there's so much room for potential, especially from the short game and then as well in the red zone. Only had 12 passes to him inside the 20 last year with 7 catches in 2021. That's 51st on the list for all pass catchers in the NFL. So if we even just say we double that and put him maybe in the top 20, it's just that much more upside and more potential for touchdowns. And another thing that I'm looking at too, and this is a hedge opportunity of why I'm on Burrow and then also taking Chase from a receiving touchdown standpoint. Over the last 4 seasons, the quarterback that throws the most touchdowns or the second most touchdowns, their top wide receiver also finishes first or second in receiving touchdowns. Now, that doesn't sound like a huge leap to think, but if you just look at the last 4 years, Tom Brady was first last year. Mike Evans was second. Matthew Stafford was second. Cooper Kupp was first. Then you just look back in 2020, Aaron Rodgers was first. Devontae Adams was first in receiving touchdowns. In 2019, Lamar Jackson was first. Mark Andrews was second. Mahomes was first in 2018. Tyreek Hill was second in 2018. So there is a natural correlation there that if you throw a lot of touchdowns, your wide receiver one is likely going to be the biggest beneficiary as a result. And all reports are that he looks incredible in training camp. The connection with Burrow is, to me, it's undeniable. I'm going with Ja'Marr Chase to lead the league in touchdowns at 9-1.
I like it. I mean, I just see this monster season coming for Ja'Marr Chase if he can stay healthy. Like it's like you could see 2,000 yards, you could see 20 touchdowns, or you could see a straight up Randy Moss type season coming. Brandon, who you got receiving touchdowns?
So this is my favorite pick in the entire podcast. I feel like I said that 3 times, but if you're only making one bet and you want a ticket that's going to pay off, Mike Evans, 8-1 receiving touchdowns is my guy. Look, Jill kind of just made the case for Mike Evans here. Tom Brady is the favorite to lead the league in passing touchdowns. We know Mike Evans is a huge red zone threat. He scored 13 touchdowns 2 years ago, 14 last year. So with Tom Brady, he's getting the touchdowns each year. Chris Godwin is out for a while. Rob Gronkowski is retired until he unretires. Antonio Brown is not there. Gronk and Brown were big red zone threats last year. Godwin less so, but it's another name that they're going to be feeding Mike Evans, I think, in the red zone. And Brady is great getting him the ball down there. I think Mike Evans should be, I would put him, if I was setting lines, he would be the most favorite of any one of these categories. I have him at 15 projected touchdowns, and I have anyone else above 12. So that doesn't seem like a lot, but that's a 25% advantage on everyone else on the list. So plus 800, to me, he's a clear favorite here, and this is my favorite bet on the board.
Yeah, and I love Mike Evans because he just doesn't really get hurt, and you just know what you're going to get from him every single week, week in, week out. And he doesn't have to catch even a lot of passes or get a lot of yards to get a lot of touchdowns. Like me and Sean always joke, Sean Kerner, that Mike Evans go-to stat line: 2 catches, 2 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like that, the Mike Evans special. So can't hate on that one at all. I know I see you have a couple long shots here, and I love them. So talk to me about those, Brandon.
Yeah. So first long shot, Adam Thielen, 40-1. And I agree with what Jill said. I think that Thielen is a real threat in the red zone. He's been a big touchdowns guy. And so I don't want to bet Jefferson here. I actually would bet Thielen because I think that they're about even. I have them both around 12 touchdowns, but the number is obviously way better for Thielen. He had 10 last year and only played 13 games. So, we'll see. He's a little bit older. We need him to stay healthy for us for the most part, but that's pace for 13 last year. We're expecting more touchdowns. We talked about Kirk Cousins and the Kevin O'Connell offense. So I think that he has a real chance to be in a play here. Always a big touchdown guy. And then I like Courtland Sutton at 60-1. To me, Courtland Sutton is the new DK Metcalf. So DK Metcalf had 10 and 12 touchdowns the last 2 years. Sutton is the guy that's getting all the hype out of Denver. Jerry Jeudy, the inside, guy running the inside routes. That's not Russell Wilson's game. Russell Wilson wants to just air it out down the sideline. And I think there's not a lot of options. It's going to have to be Sutton, I think, in Denver. So his targets should bounce back up with the real quarterback. It's second year back from injury. We know that helps as well. And I just think that he could be a really big threat. So Thielen 40-1 and Sutton 60-1.
Yeah, I love that thinking because I think you go back to like who are we kind of thinking about as some longer shots for most touchdowns, and then Jill, as you talked about, there's a correlation there. So I really like Thielen and Sutton because I really like Cousins and Wilson in that market. So I think it perfectly lines up. And Thielen, I mean, it's kind of like Josh Jacobs. It's like there's certain players. I don't know if it's because of fantasy or what, but it's like they just get written off, and I feel like they're still very, they might not be like the best players at their positions, but they're still very good players that can do certain things well and score touchdowns. Is definitely one of them for both of them. So I think those are the kind of guys that we should be betting on.